MacVoices is supported by ATTO, the power behind the storage. ATTO brings performance you can trust to your Mac. No matter which Mac you prefer, you can trust ATTO to provide the latest macOS drivers and tools to meet your needs. To learn how ATTO provides performance you can trust for your Mac, visit atto.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in San Jose for AltConf and WWDC. We're here at AltConf talking to the sponsors and some of the people making this possible. This time I was able to corral Chad of Rightpoint to talk about what they do. Chad, welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for letting me come chat with you.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you have nothing else to do.
Oh, yeah. Just, hanging out. Just,
exactly.
Happy hour time, having a good time.
Yeah,
so.
You were asleep at the table, right?
Yeah.
So what does Rightpoint do?
Yeah, so we are one of the few independent design and experience agencies, right? So we work with a variety of clients from startups to Fortune 500, 100 companies, helping them from strategy, research, design, all the way to development and implementation of pretty complex products. And those products range from a mobile app to a whole bunch of other experiences as well. And so we've been in business for about 12 years now, and just kind of in that time have grown, and we're about 500 folks across about 9 different offices. So, and always just kind of looking for awesome talent, which is why we kind of come out here. A lot of our guys come out here pretty regularly for WW or for AltConf, and so this is a pretty common place for us to kind of come and hang and just meet some of the developer talent and talk shop.
That's fascinating. So I really didn't expect an agency to be here at AltConf.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always been a technology company at our core. So that was what Rightpoint's kind of MO was, kind of, way back in the day, over a decade ago, standing up some pretty hardcore infrastructure type work and working with the big SharePoint, Microsoft kind of stuff, and was kind of our bread and butter for a long time. But just over time, the business problems got more complex, and we're looking at building more things net new from scratch and defining problems with customers and clients that had never been done before, and it's led us to work in some pretty cool spaces. So we do a lot with healthcare from a software hardware perspective. We work in the robotics space. We work automotive. This is pretty cool swath of work that we get to do, and all pretty interesting kind of different problems from one another. So which makes it fun.
Yeah, because if you're taking that, I mean, it sounds like you do a soup to nuts thing. If I show up to you and say, I've got this great idea for an app and I'm coding it, but I have no idea about the rest of it, that's where you come in.
Yeah, as long as you can pay us. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. No, but yeah, I mean, honestly, that is over time, we have found, especially the larger companies they've grown and they've got kind of core products, and more and more those things are evolving into be digital products and services, and either they don't have the infrastructures to support those, they don't have the organizational support for it, and so we can kind of come in and go, look, this is what it takes at an organizational level to support a product, this is what it takes tactically at a technology level to build a thing, and then what it would take to kind of launch something. And so we try to work really closely with our clients to say, look, wherever you are in that journey, we can kind of jump in and help. And if you want us to make it, we'll make it. But if you need us to help us define it, we can do that too. So I didn't hear it correctly at first. I thought you were talking primarily about design and marketing, and it sounds like you do business consulting as well, technical consulting. Yeah.
Pretty much everything, again, soup to nuts.
Yeah, it's soup to nuts. So we try to, we've got a pretty broad talent, but it's a very kind of focused talent, right? So within that 500, you've got very deeply disciplined individuals that might be specifically on mobile, or like my background is in organization and service design, so I work with a lot of companies in the past doing that with like org transformation and stuff. And so we try to, not be one thing in that regard. I think we hear what the client says, and we try to build a team around the problem that they think that that they're facing to try to bring the right solution. So, and it works out pretty well.
Yeah. Now, usually I would ask you what kind of pricing do you have, but it sounds like that would be all over the board because each customer is a little different with their needs.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I think it just depends on there's a lot of factors, right? So. So it's a pretty tough question to answer, but I mean, our work ranges in the $1 million to tens of millions of dollars, right? So, and some stuff a little bit under $1 million. So I think it just depends on the overarching problem. I think we just try to be more picky about what we do. I think we don't try to discount something just because it might not be a certain dollar amount. I think if it creates the right kind of problem, and we have a pretty passionate group of people, so that tends to be what draws talent to us. is, a lot of our guys could probably be at like Google's and Facebook, but I think what happens is you get a lot of guys that get bored of staring at the same 3 or 4 pages that they're designing around year after year after year. And I think in our space, we get to work on pretty interesting stuff every 6 to 9 months, and the teams get to move around and focus on new challenges and new spaces that they might not be experts in, but they become experts in, and bring their expertise from a development or design standpoint too. So that tends to be what draws a lot of talent to us in that regard. So, and we're in a lot of cool places that a lot of that type of talent exists, right? So in those 9 offices. So
it's great that you guys support AltConf and help make all of this behind us happen. And I'm a little surprised, given what you were saying your target market is, because my perception here is that there's so many indie developers that probably are not going to play in that $1 million to $10 million space.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I think the truth is, a lot of us have probably done stints in that too, right? A lot of the folk on our team have spent time doing their own thing, and I think it's just a learning process as a developer. I think as a learning process, if anybody wants to do something as a independent consultant, contractor, or whatever you want to call yourself, I think what we found too a lot with our team is a lot of us have a background in that, but I think we all wanted to eventually be a part of a team again. So I think that was kind of a big decision maker for a lot of us that chose to join Rightpoint, was just, and I think the freedom to also tackle pretty complex problems, solve the itch that most people do when they switch to contracting or, freelancing, because they're like, I was doing something, it was very boring, I've been on the same product for 4 years, and again, I've been staring at a settings tab, and I'm exhausted, so I'm going to do my own thing. But then I think the practical side of that is you realize that it's pretty hard to win a big project on your own.
Yeah.
And so, no one's going to give you $1 million gig as a single iOS developer, right? And so, and you're seeing a lot of that. We've definitely seen more and more like independent consultants like kind of pull together and say, look, like we're a little cohort of indies, but every now and then we'll pull together and let's go after something big together. And there's some pros and cons to trying to win that, right? But yeah, so we just, I think we've just learned and have experienced those things for ourselves. So we've tried to build an atmosphere that I think understands that, but then like gives good enough work that makes people go, this is great. Like this is what I was wanting to do all along. So
well, it's interesting because I've been coming here now for a number of years and seeing some of the same people come back to the conference and their evolution over time. I mean, they may have started as an indie, but as you said, joined a small group or joined a bigger company, or failed at one and started another, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
There's such a variety of people here and a variety of approaches, and to have something like you and your organization to, if they decide to try to take it to the next level, they have a place to go.
Yeah, I think that's 100% right. I mean, everybody's in different seasons, right? I mean, I think that's why we even have offices in the place that we do, is we want to encourage. We get that maybe you might live in the Bay, and 2 years from now you don't want to live in the Bay, right? You might want to live in Denver or Atlanta or some of these other places that are also great markets for the type of work that we do. And so for us, we're like, look, we want to be an organization that like can grow, not with you just career-wise, but like we get that there's like a life component to just figuring things out. Like we've got guys that'll take 3 months and work remotely just because they're like, hey, I want to break from the city or whatever. And so I think we try to recognize that you're more than just, somebody putting down ones and zeros all day long. You know what I mean? Like, you're a human, and sometimes you need to like go outside and take a breath of fresh air, and and so
You can put ones and zeros down anywhere.
You can do that anywhere, which is really great about the work. So like, and like I said, most of our guys, work from home certain days, and a good group of them are remote and that have designed their lives that way intentionally. And so I think we just try to recognize that and go, look, there's a space for it, and we've got processes to work together well in those environments, and it's good. I like it, and you'll find most of our teams they all have strong points of view, which is why I think we work well together.
It's very cool. The website where folks can learn more and maybe sign up to be part of your, or avail themselves, I should say, of your services.
I mean, we're hiring a ton right now. So you can go to rightpoint.com, and it's just like it sounds, so rightpoint.com. We're hiring in most of our markets. So if you're in Atlanta or Detroit, Denver, Oakland, LA, Boston, Chicago, hiring great product managers, developers, both iOS and Android, even React Native if you're a React Native developer, and then great design, so UX, UI, even brand identity, that type of stuff. So jump on and have a look.
Chad, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for being a supporter of AltConf.
Oh man, we love it. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Folks, we'll have more from AltConf in San Jose. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.